know when you eat chips and you're trying to watch TV, you've got to put the subtitles on.
Yep.
You got it. That's true.
This should be the show.
This is the show.
Welcome back to What's All That About? A podcast where two cheeky chaps chat candidly about stuff. My name is Kelso, one of the aforementioned cheeky chaps. And with me, as always, is my dear long-time mate, great crate escapist, and co-host Kerwin. G'day, Kerwin.
Kelso, thank you for that wonderful introduction, and may I extend to you a million welcomes.
A million welcomes is well received, my dear friend. I want to talk to you. I feel so comfortable. I feel so welcome. I almost forget the bit I do at the start. I feel so welcome that I'd like to talk to you about the future of kissing booths.
The future? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they seem to be on pretty unstable ground, don't you think?
Yeah, thin ice. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. A number of reasons.
Okay.
You're not going to guess them?
You've made notes. No, well, okay, let me think.
Notes,
I
but
guess...
not on... Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say... I think it's... obviously, it's germs. We'll start with that. I'm skipping around the obvious one, hoping that you'll take...
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture, thank you.
Yeah.
Although, would it be okay if I had a kissing booth? Would that be
that's
still
one
okay?
of my notes, actually. Do you think you'd generate much money at the Catalina wine mixer if you had literally manning a kissing booth?
I think I would. I mean, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but yeah, I think I have soft, full, supple lips that I think women of a certain age would be lining up to get to dock onto my lips, I reckon.
Dock on.
I do get a lot of attention from the, let's say, the ladies over 50. They love me. So
you're suggesting your kissing booth would be more, generate more funds at the, a fundraiser for the old people's home or the hospice rather than the school fete.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I'd get a lot of kisses that taste like Werther's Original.
Now you might think their kisses tasted like Werther's Originals. What would they come away thinking that your kiss tastes like? Kumchi chewing gum?
Kumchi. I think kimchi is what you're looking for there. A bit of a faux Kumchi?
Do apologise to our Hong Kong dear listener. So it was kumchi.
I think that's on Pornhub, kumchi. I think that's, yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. No, my because, my part of my aesthetic, Kelso, as you may recall, is my chewing gum. So I'm always minty fresh.
Yeah.
Whether I'm at
you were telling me in Singapore
booth,
you picked up some. You're telling me in Singapore many podcasts ago you've picked up some kimchi chewing gum.
Kimchi, yes, right, not kumchi.
Right, not kumchi. No. My favourite Hong Kong porn star.
Yeah, it was gross. So needless to say, it didn't last very long. But yeah, back to the kissing booth. Have you ever seen one, or is this just something that only exists in movies and TV shows?
Well, it's a very good question. I get the impression it might be more of an American thing because I've certainly never seen one in person, but maybe it's more a kind of something you see in a cartoon or a comic. They always seem to have like
an
little
Archie
wooden stand.
It's more of like an Archie comic thing, isn't it?
And whenever you see it, they seem to have one of those little wooden stands, which similar to Lucy's psychiatrist stand in Peanuts magazine.
The doctor is in, yeah.
Yeah. So a little desk and then a raised portion that takes the form of a sign on top, which is attached to the desk somehow.
Yeah. I think the kissing booths are a product of a more innocent time when you could sell a kiss that was just a dainty little peck. I think if you to do it now, I think you'd be in danger of having someone have their tongue rammed down your throat, or worse.
That's right. That's what I was saying. Where the cancel culture would come in, you get the creepy science teacher who insists at the school Catalina wine mixer that he's going to be manning a kissing booth. Could lead to
it would have to be like an age-appropriate, like you'd have a range of people that you could kiss, so you couldn't. You
must be this tall.
Buy a kiss from someone. Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, no more than a 5-year radius either side of your age. But
now, you were saying when I first mentioned kissing booths, you don't like to blow your own trumpet. Now, presumably, if you were getting a little action at the kissing booth, you wouldn't be forced to blow your own trumpet.
yeah. I'm going to go on mouth.
You could charge $1 a throw for people to watch you blow your own trumpet.
Maybe, or kiss my trumpet.
Well, cancel. It's cancelled.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, I think that was a bumper sticker from the 70s, Kiss My Trumpet. No, I do remember the most vivid kissing. Actually, I don't think it was a kissing booth, but I remember in the show Degrassi, the original Degrassi, the show for the high school show from Canada. Someone running for class president was giving away kisses. So does that count as a kissing booth?
I'm not sure, but I think you're confused. Are you talking about Degrassi Junior High?
Yes, Stephanie Kay.
Oh.
Yes, remember like a part of her...
I didn't forget. All the way with Stephanie Kay. No, just a kiss.
Yeah. And that got out of hand pretty quickly.
I'm pretty sure that might even been the first episode of Degrassi Junior High when she was climbing the greasy pole, which was student politics in Degrassi Junior High by offering kisses. You're right.
Yes, her first instance of wagging the dog.
Yes, I don't think that would be smiled upon today somehow. Or maybe they were, as always, educating us, telling us that was not the way to establish a political base.
No. I mean, how old were you when you had your first proper kiss?
Oh, I thought you meant run for my first political office.
Well, yeah, that too.
I'm going to say I was 10.
10?
Well, hang on. What? Sorry. Okay. I just
Whoa.
heard back. You did say proper kiss, did you? What's a proper kiss?
French.
Like?
Yeah.
French
well, the kind of kiss you
kiss.
wouldn't get at a kissing booth. Yeah. That's extra.
Not over the counter. Haven't got any of those French kisses under the counter? Whoa. Hang on. One. A French
Meet me
kiss.
out back in my lunch break.
And a French kiss under the counter. It's a bit too many euphemisms going on there, sir. But, yes, $20. My first French kiss, I'm going to say... Oh, goodness, I don't know. I think it was a late bloomer. I'm going to say year 12.
Oh, that's
Senior
all right.
year.
So you would have been, what, 17?
17.
Well, that's not too bad. Yeah. No,
Maybe 18.
Mine was 18. Oh, right. Well, no, that changes everything. And it was...
And then my first French kiss under the counter, that was probably 20.
I thought when you were taking time to think about it, I thought you were going to say, so my first kiss with a human female, right? Okay. Yes, definitely.
My first kiss that I didn't have to pay for at the school fete.
I was 13. I was, I got stuck into it pretty early. So maybe that's the kissing booths. Maybe we could have that could have helped us along the way there, because I was not my first kiss was not very successful on my part. I was overwhelmed, didn't know what was happening, and I actually spoke in the middle of it.
Did you? Was the words that you spoke was, "You do realise this will cost you $1?"
Yeah. I was negotiating price.
Principal Skinner.
No, I actually I wasn't expecting it. You see, I didn't plan it. It just sort of, I thought I was going in for a young teenage peck, and then it suddenly got very serious, and I was taken aback so much that I went, "Ooh, what's happening?" while I was being kissed, and it was not my greatest moment.
Understood.
And she dumped me not too long after that.
Well, no surprise. Probably meant something at the kissing booth. Now, I'm sure you and the dear listener won't mind if I'm tempted to Google the origin of kissing booths. I think that might be quite interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Kissing booths.
Whether it's a real thing, because I'm not completely convinced it was actually something that exists outside of TV.
Well, dear listener, tweet in at podcastkak or on the email podcastkak@gmail.com if you have actually been or in fact staffed a kissing booth, manned or woman or whatever, a kissing booth.
Either side. Yeah.
Because at the moment we think it might be a cartoon. And here we go. What does Wikipedia say? A kissing booth is an attraction used at a carnival where the person running the booth kisses other people, often to raise funds for charity. So they're not saying it's a fictional construct. Domestic animals
I've seen it often.
Don't interrupt. No. It's important, mate. Domestic animals may also be used for comedic purposes.
Okay. So, because is that okay? So that means, say, a dog is manning or womaning the kissing booth.
I suppose so.
Yeah. Okay. Because the other thing I do recall from my kissing booth experience is that the kisser gives, and it's usually a girl, will give a little peck on the cheek. I don't think it's lip to lip contact. Does the article specify whether there's any lip on lip action?
Both you and the excuse my voice, dear listener. You and the dear listener will be very disappointed to find that the article on Wikipedia is threadbare. So you got a chance here. Maybe jump in as debut as a Wikipedia author. Because there's literally one paragraph, and it talks about a particular kissing booth at a convention in Dallas in 1971, where an LGBT equality campaigner did one. Nothing to do about the history of the kissing booth. Very disappointing.
Oh, that's a shame. Look, I've always wanted to amend a Wikipedia article, but I just didn't think I'd start with kissing booths.
A lot of people didn't think things would start with kissing booths, but they did.
I thought it was going to be Beatle related,
infections, all sorts of things.
Where do you start? Sorry. I mean, you could just make up the whole thing. I mean, this is our opportunity to just invent our own folklore. Yeah.
Well, our only clue is that there is a little image attached on the margin, and it's a cartoon, a kissing booth depicted in the 1921 comic Something the Matter. So that doesn't resolve anything. It tells us it's been around for a long time, but it still could be purely in comics.
See, we could just make this up completely. We could say that, for example, kissing booths were invented in France in 1858 by Pierre Kissinger for the 1858 World Fair.
I'm going to abandon. I'm going to abandon Wikipedia and go to Reddit because
You should have started there.
Someone said they're very common in the 1950s. Okay, good. So there you go. Someone unhelpfully added that also commonly known as herpes distribution booths. Thank you very much.
And mono.
And then someone
what was
said,
the other thing? You get mono.
Yeah, I suppose so. £1 a kiss unless you had a beauty queen. And they were very chaste kisses, so we knew that part. But so if you had a beauty queen, you could charge over the odds.
Right. More than market value. Okay, well that's well.
And then someone said, the question has made me realise that these kissing booths were essentially very minor brothels. I suppose he's right, or she.
It's a gateway.
Dear me. Now, is there a future for the kissing booth? Do you think maybe it could be transformed? Updated. What would the update be? Likes.
Oh, I just
$1 a like.
$1
a follow.
Well, I believe that actually exists, but I just want to go back to the
Sorry.
the gateway thing. I just, you know how Michael Douglas is apparently Hollywood actor. Michael Douglas is apparently a sex addict. I just can imagine him, talking to a psychologist and saying, "Well, it all started when I was 13 and went to my first kissing booth." Yeah. And Charlie Sheen. That's how he got into that whole grievous mischief. Yep. It was at his high school, a kissing booth.
I turned up at the 1963 fair with $5 to spend on baseball cards, but that's the day I saw my first kissing booth.
He was sort of the siren song was too much to resist. But so I'm interested in your thought experiment about, can a kissing booth exist today? I'd say under certain conditions.
Okay, what are those conditions? One of those latex dams, like a very large latex dam in between the kisser and the kissy.
Yeah, a plastic screen. Yeah, for sure.
Which would have to be wiped down between every kiss as well, wouldn't it? I mean, a sneeze guard essentially.
Yeah, that's true. Sneeze guard, and not only would a kissing booth need to be manned or womaned by a kisser, you'd also need someone there with a squeegee to in between kisses to wipe down the the clear plastic film.
Exactly.
A kiss guard.
Maybe it might be better if they just photoshopped it in. You know how at our local kind of fair, you could stand next to a cutout of a celebrity and get your photograph taken next to them. They set the lighting right. So I have a photograph of you being kissed by the kissee for $1.
A virtual kissing booth.
Mm.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the beauty queen wouldn't even need to be there.
Well, I think I'd prefer that. If someone said, "Do you want a photo of you, like a celebrity giving you a kiss on the cheek, or the girl that you had a crush on in high school?" I think I'd go the girl from high school. I mean, that's me. Assuming that I was also in high school just before. I should point that out. We could qualify that.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm going to spend $1, I want it to be believable, so I can pop it on the on Facebook, or at least drop it into the locker room blokes chat on WhatsApp.
Exactly. It'll be like, I'm trying to make this age appropriate. Check out me kissing Michelle Pfeiffer.
Cindy Crawford. Now, I actually did play a similar trick when I, dear listener may or may not know, but I moved from Australia and I lived in America as a young man, 24, 25, something like that. And I got into the habit when I went onto town, whenever I was chatting to a good-looking lady or met one through my friends, I said to them, "Do you mind just posing for a photo with me? Put your hands around me." So, because I've been taking lots of photos and sending back to my mates in Australia to make them jealous. It was worked like a charm. Not only did I get a hug with a nice lady, but I got to really put the heckles up my mates.
Right. Do you still have these photos?
You probably received a few of these photographs. Yeah, all very
Probably
chaste, as I said. And let's face it, it did resemble a minor brothel, but it was good fun.
Oh, wow. Okay. All this time I thought you were just making inroads.
Making hay?
I didn't
What the
realise
sun
you- I didn't realise
Smoke
you
and
had
mirrors,
a-
my friend. Smoke and mirrors.
Right. Well, that was drawn in, wasn't I? Gazumped.
I'd hate to think about the nasty politics that used to go on behind the scene, actually, at when they were deciding who would man the kissing booth, especially at a school fair, don't you think? There'd be a lot of
I would hope
backstabbing and manoeuvring and...
Cool. Well, I would hope it'd be voluntary, you know. I mean, it wouldn't be nice to get a letter from the principal, the school principal, saying that your services are required in a kissing booth. That would be terrible. Yeah.
Indentured service.
Yeah. Drafted into kissing. Yeah, I wonder if... Yeah, because we'll never know. We didn't really exist in it, because you said the golden age of the kissing booth was the 50s or 60s, didn't you say?
Well, I think maybe it might have been... The politics might have been the reverse, right? Because presumably one would think you'd put your best... You know, like they said, the beauty queen up front. You want the beauty queen on the kissing booth. So perhaps people were putting their name forward wanting to be on the kissing booth, considering that a badge of honour.
Yeah, because she's like, well, she's like, bag's not the dunking machine.
Exactly. Now, all I'm saying is, imagine the absolute row that could have happened if both at Riverdale High they're trying to decide who's going to be the on the kissing booth. Betty and Veronica would have been at each other's throats.
Oh, I don't know. I think Veronica would probably would be asked to do it, but she would decline, and then Betty would do it, and then Veronica would get jealous and then want to do it anyway. I think that's how that would go.
Right, yeah, because
if I know my Archie comics.
Veronica would see it as below her, but Betty would say, "Well, it's for charity. Someone's got to do it. I'll fill in," and then that's when Veronica gets jealous. When she sees all the boys lining up.
She kissing her, yeah, and then she's, yeah.
So this
That
particular
Veronica.
story, Kerwin, which art style do you see it being drawn in? Would it be like that real classical 1950s type waist? You know how there's different styles of drawing in Archie? You know what I'm talking about?
Well, it wouldn't be Little Archie. But yeah, I would say classic Archie, classic 50s Riverdale Archie, when holding hands meant something.
Yeah, and who would be in the lineup? You know, so when we see the scene where Veronica walks around the corner and is mortified to see a huge lineup of gentlemen waiting to be kissed by Betty, sitting at one of those stands.
Betty,
who's in the line?
first in
Obviously,
line, first in line, Reggie.
Walt Reggie, yeah,
First
and
in line,
he's
Reggie.
spraying his mouth with some spray, you know,
Mouth
spray.
freshener, yeah.
Mouth
Then there
freshener.
might be, was it Milton or Milton, the nerd?
Yeah,
You know, maybe he's
Yeah.
just adjusting his bow tie and putting some Brill cream in his hair, unfogging his glasses.
Would Moose be in line?
Oh no, I think Moose would be at the back of the line kissing Midge.
Ah,
Yeah, Moose is getting some.
right.
That was one.
So
of
he's
the-
just doing it for charity.
Yeah. Oh well, he'll probably take one, but then there'd be a very cross-looking Midge, you know, standing offside. You know, because that was my takeaway from Archie more than anything else, is that Moose was getting plenty.
He had a lot to go around.
I had a very vivid imagination.
Yeah.
And a lot of time on my hands, and a lot of Archie digests.
And I've got a funny feeling that who was the I've forgotten her name, the strange, slightly kooky redhead girl who was a bit offbeat. Ethel? No.
Ethel.
Was there a kooky redhead?
Ethel
it was a real
Ethel.
strange. Not Jughead's girlfriend, or was that Jughead's girlfriend I'm thinking of?
You're right. Ethel was the girl that liked Jughead, but Jughead wasn't really interested. He was more interested in hamburgers.
Hamburgers.
Yeah. And working at Pop's Chocolate Shack or whatever it was called.
Yeah. I think I can see Pop's in the lineup.
Yeah,
he's
Pops.
looking a bit sheepish, but he's ready for a kiss.
Yeah, I can see maybe Mr. Weatherby in the lineup, and when he gets a kiss, that little piece of hair on his head shoots up into the air.
Pops. It's for charity.
So anyone under 35, Google Archie and all the characters, and you
Get back to us.
join in on the conversation.
Tasty.
Come in if you're ugly.
Yep, good one. Hey, we were wondering, how much would you charge in a kissing booth?
Pardon?
Oh, a kissing booth. It's like an old-timey fundraising thing at carnivals and
Do you
stuff.
want to kiss me, Cohen?
No, of course not. We were just wondering what the going rate would be these days. I wasn't implying in any
I'm
way...
just messing with you.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Kissing booth. Let me think. $20 for cheek, $50 for lips, $100 for full tongue, and half price for girls. Is that enough, or do you want my full price list?
No, that's plenty. Oh yeah, can we get our coffees now? Or...
I'm a bit busy.
Fair enough.
Tasty.
Cohen Roselle has been very busy. Have you noticed that around the office?
I have. She's been very diligent.
Very diligent. Standing out like a sore thumb. Dear listener, Roselle, of course, as you know by now, is our intranet. Not our intranet, our intern. She's also doubling as our intranet. I don't know how she does it.
She's very versatile.
Yeah, she is. She's fitting in lovely. Got a strange Ethernet port, but we'll make do. So anyway, Roselle has pushed this across thine desk. Don't get jealous, but here it is. So let's have a look-see. What has she been up to? A police officer could lose his job today after he told a female officer he stirred her tea with his penis. What? Whoa. Hang on.
Wait a second. So...
Hang on. Whoa. I didn't expect that.
Okay, there's a lot of logistics questions.
Well, I find this particularly ironic, Kerwin, because my penis resembles one of those wooden little sticks you get at Starbucks. For stirring your coffee.
Right, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, just
right.
to make it clear. So a police officer could lose his job. It's in doubt. A police officer could lose his job after he told a female officer he stirred her tea with his penis.
Right,
Wow.
so he just told her that, so there wasn't any... he wasn't caught in the act, you know what I mean? He wasn't knob
He
deep
had to be
in,
rushed to hospital.
Right, he wasn't knob deep in a soy latte. Like, oh,
It's a fair cop.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
You don't really expect that, do you?
No, you don't. Well, was the tea hot? I mean, how did he... I'm not sure if I believe this guy. I think he was just trying to get into the other police officer's head there. Guess what was in your coffee?
To some part of her body, I dare say. Right, let's have a look. Let's see if there's any more revealed. The PC, police constable, claimed he was having a bit of a laugh.
Having a laugh.
And that he had misjudged his friendship. We
weren't quite
the
at
victim.
We weren't quite at the cock in your coffee stage of our friendship.
Look, this was our third stakeout, third night of stakeout. I thought that meant third night of stakeout. That using my cock as a tea stir would be fine. Misjudged his friendship. I do apologise. I was looking through the wrong thing.
Well, I think it's unfair because it was his female colleague, right? Well, how could she get him back? You know what I mean? Maybe sort of, I don't know, do something to his hot dog or something? I don't know. Like,
two wrongs don't make a right. That's
yeah,
not
well, they'd know that as police officers, for sure.
Let's hope so.
I just want to know if does the article mention anything about, like I said, the logistics of him? You know, does he stir? He says he stirred it, right? So it wasn't just a dip; it was a dip in and then circular motion.
The word "stirred" was definitely used.
Definitely
All right, let's find out. He was having a bit of a laugh, but he misjudged his friendship with the victim. But he was found guilty of 9 charges in front of a discipline panel.
9
A panel formed for the sole purpose of discipline.
Okay.
A disciplinary.
I want to hear all 9 charges. I mean, obviously one is, you know, what would you call it? Sort of defiling a hot beverage. Is that a crime? Should be.
He's got form, this guy. But between May and July in the same year, he made sexual comments towards the woman and licked his lips while gyrating his hips in the canteen. Oh, man, this guy is marking himself as a real troublemaker.
It sounds like cock in the coffee is the least of his crimes. It's a pattern of behaviour.
You can imagine what a absolute first-class muppet, as they would say in England.
Yeah. So, did they mention all these charges? I want to read this guy's rap sheet.
Well, actually, there's more. Yeah, he's a despicable. He watched her, the unwitting recipient of the cock-stirred coffee. He watched her changing in the female locker room and had given her a shoulder massage without her permission.
Oh my!
It was a rap sheet, all right.
God.
Well, gee, I wonder how it ever got to the point where she let her make him a tea.
Exactly. I'd be like, no, just a can of soft drink, and don't open it.
With your cock. A second police officer described him, the offender, as having a cocky attitude.
This guy's got a sense of humour. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's having a cocky attitude and behaving as though he owned the place.
Well, he certainly sounds like he
certainly felt at home.
He owns the coffee machine. The sounds of things.
Well, maybe that's how he stirs his coffee at home. So that's acting as though he owned the place.
I'm not sure.
Together.
Well, that's the thing. This is where I feel like Officer Swizzlestick's story falls down, is because coffee is generally pretty hot. I can hardly get my lips on the bloody thing, let alone my bell end. Which I would have thought would be very sensitive to high temperatures. But look, what do I know? Never been there.
No.
I've never stirred any beverage with my appendage.
Yeah.
Hot, cold, or otherwise.
Yeah, I don't. No beverage.
No beverage, no.
Definitely stirred no beverages. I'm just thinking, I could think of something I had stirred.
So it sounds like he was just saying, he said that he had done it, rather than had actually done it.
Wow. Well, let's read in further. I'm not going to read out the whole article because actually it's a litany of terrible things he's done to women. Women colleagues, and I don't know if we can find too much comedy in that, to be honest.
No. Well, I mean, we could off air, but not on air.
Let's see if we can get any more about the actual. Okay, the No details on the temperature of the beverage.
Right.
But, dear listener, do not try this at home.
No, I mean, I'm assuming the coffee cup was tested for prints. And that black light from like CSI as well, just to see if
Do not turn that on. Not the canteen. That's what's been
She
happening.
took a sip and went, my coffee's extra milky. This is the kind of stuff.
Now, the last part of the article I will read, because this does illuminate perhaps the how much of a tosser this guy is. That the offender, our disreputable officer, says he was just trying to make friends, as he was not friendly with his own team, who often made fun of him.
Well, that's fair enough. And that's how we became friends, to be fair. I mean, I dipped my cock in your coffee, and that's we've been pals ever since.
Yeah. I gave you 9 disciplinary charges, 2 per foreskin, plus 1 on top.
Oh, dear, dear.
Hey guys, your coffees are ready. Freshly stirred.
Kelso, Roselle has slid another interesting article across my desk, and I am going to read it right now. This, like the previous articles, also seems to be set in Britain. A British man who is formerly known, and I'll say his name, because he's not known as this anymore. His name is Thomas Dodd.
Thomas Dodd.
And
Doddy.
Tommy! He's reportedly changed his name to Celine Dion.
Oh, that's going to be confusing.
Yeah, and this is, I love the article. They've put a pun in there, a joke. The Thomas Dodd has reportedly changed his name to Celine Dion, and it's all coming back to him now. As to how it happened.
That's right.
Oh, snap! Oh, that guy should.
Oh, now
get
hang
an
on.
award for that.
So we have how many Celine Dion songs are going to be referred to in the article? Do you think is just a one-off?
Okay,
I'm going to say 3, at least 3, surely.
You reckon? Okay. Well, I'm gonna Google Celine Dion songs and see if I can work some in myself, and you can tell me whether they're in the article.
I'm looking at to say this is too good. I've accidentally typed in Celine Dion dongs.
Not this
Do
again.
Google that.
Do not stir your coffee with a Celine Dion dong.
Not recommended.
Not again. No, absolutely not. Okay. So, anyway, yeah, I'm just looking at this, realising how many Celine Dion songs I don't know.
Yeah.
There's not many.
Now, did Thomas
think there'd be
Dodd
heaps?
think it was a... Did Thomas Dodd, have a large group of friends who thought it was a great idea for him to change his name, or was he all by myself?
That was
Got one in
decent.
early.
That was decent. Yeah, you got an early one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the article and see what's happened here. Dodd told this particular journalist that he had a few too many alcoholic beverages. All right, okay, I got it now. And he, while watching a recording of a Celine Dion concert. Okay,
As you do.
I mean, that's an interesting Saturday night. A 6-pack and a Celine Dion concert, why not? And while watching the concert, he filed to change his name as a result.
Wow. Well, you can do it online.
Well, he obviously has a big... well, he must. I'm assuming he didn't wake up the next day, because I think that was the problem, that he did it while he was drunk. I think if he had the benefit of sleeping on it, he may not have gone through with it. But
Now,
look,
I'm gonna take this as a precautionary towel. I better be careful the next time I go on a deep dive with the Jamisons on meatloaf. Next thing I pop up on the podcast as meat of the podcast.
Well, that's the power of love. Sorry.
Got him.
Well, because he goes on to say, I'm slightly obsessed with her. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
He said of the Quebecois superstar singer.
Wow.
Yeah. So it sounds like his heart will go on. All right, that's just no. So he says, I've been watching a lot of live concerts recently on TV, and I can only think I've been watching one of hers and had, in quotes, a great idea after a few drinks.
Now, could you get away with Celine as a asexual name? Is it the bisexual name? What's the word there? Ambisexual?
Androgynous? Androgynous? With that? Yeah.
A name that goes
asexual.
both ways.
Yeah. I think you might be right. I think all of those are correct. I think so. Celine, why not?
Yeah.
Certainly Dion. You could flip it around.
Oh, he should have just
Dion
swapped.
Celine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, easy done. So, the 30-year-old hospitality worker. Maybe you could tell me if this sounds because you live in England. He lives in Tamworth, Staffordshire. Is that the kind of thing that happens in Staffordshire? Guy has too many beers watching Celine Dion and decides to change his name to Celine Dion. Is that
yeah? Well,
is that the kind of gear that happens?
You hit it on the head. Staffordshire is well known for its fine china and Celine Dion fans. So
it's a
not
hot
surprised at all. Yeah, gotta be careful. Careful popping up there. You'll never know. You'll walk around the corner and you'll run into someone called Enya.
Right, actually, you're right. I do remember that about Staffordshire. It's all coming back to me now. I'm sorry.
Very good.
We've already done that one. No. Well, they already did that one. I was just regurgitating.
Yeah. Now, this bit does rely on me and the dear listener knowing Celine Dion songs. And I'm looking at a list too, and I could probably only recognise about 4 or 5 of them.
Me too. Okay, I'm looking at... Well, obviously my heart will go on, The Power of Love. But then it falls away a bit, doesn't it?
Well, it's all coming back to me is a favourite of mine, because that's a Jim Steinman song. You might
Great song, yeah.
Written by the late, great Jim Steinman. Sadly, we did lose Jim Steinman. But,
you could hear Meatloaf singing that song.
I think he ended up covering it, so no surprise there. Yeah. Well, you don't.
Yeah. You're right. I remember that. It's all coming back to me now.
You got it.
I think that's the 3rd time I've used that pun. I think we have to retire that one. And so it goes
on.
on.
Looks like a lot like Sarah Jessica Parker, doesn't she, Celine Dion? I've just realised. Got a bit of a strange face. Sorry, Celine. And Tommy.
And sorry, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Wow. I think Sarah Jessica Parker already knew.
I had a massive crush on her when I was a young man.
Yeah, I don't find
Sarah
her
Jessica?
unattractive. It's just it's got a face like a hatchet. Oh no!
Oh dear!
Sorry, listener.
Oh dear! What? Kelso.
All I'm saying is I wouldn't like her to headbutt me.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess you can't like everyone. Okay, so Dodd, I should say Celine Dion, says he received the official paperwork in the mail a few days after Christmas. So according to this, he did have time to think about it and sleep on it. A few days, apparently. So he applied for the paperwork, probably online, got the paperwork a few days later, was still pretty keen on the idea of changing his name to Celine Dion.
Why not?
In the cold, hard light of day, it still seemed like a That's a good idea. So then it says, a few days after Christmas, he apparently paid £89 for the change, as well as multiple copies of the letter proving it's real. I guess to hand out to his friends.
And to convince duly sceptical employees at the Department of Motor Vehicles.
So it actually happened. He legally changed his name by deed poll, and he can use the new name on passport, driving license, and other official documents. There you go, Celine Dion.
If you were going to change your name, Kerwin, which celebrity or superstar singer would you go for?
Well, I guess maybe I'm just feeling the vibe of this guy, but I would say Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I just want to dance with somebody. I know. Anyway,
Wow.
So he goes on to say there's more. There is more. I mean, this guy's not done yet.
Oh.
Yeah. So he says that the new Celine Dion, as in the former Mr. Dodd, says he's not planning on changing it back right away. He says, I'll figure it out. Maybe, can I do this in a French-Canadian accent?
You can try.
No, I'm not going to. No, I can't. I'm gonna stumble and fall. He says, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not rushing to change it back. That's for sure. I tried singing Celine in the shower this morning, and I can assure everyone I haven't inherited her voice or bank balance.
Well, that's pleasing to know. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it, and then
So
they'd all
what
have access to a bank balance.
So, Kelson, what was your call on the amount of Celine Dion references that this article was gonna get in there? You said 3.
Yeah.
We definitely had one at the beginning there.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see another one in the middle, but it does end with one. As a representative for Celine herself, did not respond to the journalist's request for comment, but we can assume she had better things to do. But we can assume she'll accept the tribute because blah, 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 that's the way it is. Apparently, that's a Celine Dion song. We would have, we're obviously not big fans.
Yeah.
All by myself. I have to do everything around here. All by myself.
Kerwin, you'll never guess, but Rodney on Gmail, that is podcastkk@gmail.com. You can do the same, dear listener, as good old Rodders. Whether he likes it or not, he is now known as Rodders. Send us an email, gmail.com.
Rodney, you plonker.
You plonker. Send us in an article that you have found interesting and made you think, what's all that about? And don't forget, you can go for the double banger. Something Rizal never does, which is send in an article and then also suggest a showstopper at the same time. Now, Rodders hasn't done that on this occasion, but what he has sent through is this. Prince Harry has got himself a new job as Chief Impact Officer at a mental health startup in California.
I'm sorry, what? Say that again. Prince Harry, as in the son of
Prince Harry.
Princess Diana
Son
and Prince Charles.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got himself a new job as a Chief Impact Officer. I have no idea what that means. At a mental health startup. in California. Okay, a position which is known as chimpo. What's Rodders going on? This is a position which is known as chimpo in business circles. Okay, so a chief impact officer is a chimpo. All
right, it's like a, what do you call that when you compress a thing down and it makes a word? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I see what Rodders is doing. He's taking a wind-up, because normally it's the first sentence that tells you the whole story. But obviously this is tweaked Rodders. Rod. Congratulations to him. This is the article goes on. Congratulations to him, but it's getting attention for the wrong reasons in Japan. Here we go. That's because the word is slang for penis. So, chimpo.
Oh, wait a minute. Chimpo is a
slang
Japanese
for
word
penis
for penis
in Japan.
Okay.
So it's being splashed across the tabloids, I suppose. Do you think they have tabloids in Japan? They seem a bit more cultured for that.
Well, I guess they must.
Must do.
Yeah.
Must have tabloids. And so it's being splashed across the Japanese tabloids, I guess, that Prince Harry is now a penis. Having left the royal family, he had only one choice: move to California and become a penis.
Look, it's actually starting to make sense, because I think someone once stirred my coffee with a chimpo. It's starting to...
Not again. I've often considered packing it all in, moving to California and becoming a penis. But, maybe in a future life or a past life I was a penis in California. Probably Ron Jeremy's. He's had a few.
Chimpo or two. So it's Japanese slang for penis is chimpo.
Must be.
Right. Okay.
Not Prince Harry.
Not Prince Harry.
Oh,
well, that would be embarrassing.
Sensei, your Prince Harry seems to have popped out of the your what do they call those things? Not kimono.
Kimono. Yeah,
not
definitely kimono.
No, but what's the name for your karate outfit? They've got a special name which I never knew.
Actually, maybe we should Google that. What's the name? Yeah, what's the name of
karate outfit?
Karate outfit. I think you're right. I think it does have a name. It's probably a question for Ralph Macchio.
He wouldn't know. You seen him do a spinning sidekick? It's terrible. A G. There you go. That's what
a G. How do you spell it? Just the letter G?
G-I in English. But the whole name, the formal Japanese name is one big word, karate G. So karate with G-I on the end. Karate
right,
G.
so it probably means karate pants.
That's right. Where's your karate pants? Your chimpo's popped out again. Get that chimpo back in that gi. For goodness sake. Right.
So anyway, to recap, the Duke of Sussex is a Japanese penis. Okay, all right.
A Japanese penis is the Duke of Sussex. Works both ways.
Tomato.
All right, so how did this come to our attention? A Japanese news site reported that people were laughing at the job title, saying things like, "I bet this news made junior high school boys happy." I bet it did. And it doesn't matter what age you are, the word chimpo always raises a smile. So what would the equivalent be? Willie? That's kind of relevant too, if it was his brother. Prince Harry has got a Willie.
Well, maybe we should do a Google shit on that. Maybe we should Google the word chimpo, because I wouldn't mind getting a gauge on how rude the word chimpo is. Is it like you couldn't say it in front of your grandma? Or because you could say Willie in front of your grandma. I mean, in the right context.
Yeah, if you have to. Yeah.
If you have to, yeah. We just walk around saying Willie willy nilly. But
right. So you want me to Google chimpo gauge?
Chimpo,
right?
Chimpo gauge.
Chimpo gauge.
Chimpo G.
I did not expect that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chimpo, how rude is
How
it,
rude is
really?
Chimpo? Yeah.
Oh, no, I've got absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all?
No, I've got a similar article, I suppose. Yeah, okay. The
How
Daily
about-
Mail jumping at it. No,
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Chimpo.
Chimpo, Urban
maybe I'm
Dictionary.
doing the wrong. Well, I don't know if the Japanese are updating the English English language urban dictionary.
Well, I'll see. I'll tell you what it
is
says
there?
here. Yep. You want a conversationally appropriate slang. So there you go. So it's
There you go.
You could say it in front of your
grandmother.
Yeah. So it's not like saying purple vein custard chucker. It's just like saying Willie, or something
That's
like
right.
that. Variants
Absolutely
according to
nothing
this is
like saying a blue vein junket pump.
So I love here that the variants are Chimpoko, Chimbo, Chinko, and Chin Chin. So
Chin Chin. That actually sounds like a number of a Mexican yard working gang.
Chinchin, Chimpo, yeah, it does. It doesn't, but it does. I love how Urban Dictionary, as always, has provided the word chimpo in a sentence. And do you want to hear what it is? It says,
I do.
This is yeah, okay. And this was done in 2005, so this really predates Prince Harry by a long, long way. I think he was still in high school then. Anyway, so it says here, "You're lucky you got rid of that loose skin covering your chimpo. It makes your chimpo too sensitive." What?
Wow.
Man, this guy.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure if. I think it leaves more questions than answers. That.
Yeah. Now, that example? Read that again. Sorry.
Okay. This the way it's used in a sentence. Okay.
Yeah, the
You're
example
lucky
you just
you
read
got
out from
rid of
Urban.
that. Yes. Okay. So here it is. You're lucky you got rid of that loose skin covering your chimpo. It makes your chimpo too sensitive.
Right. So now, can we apply that example to Prince Harry leaving the royal family? Do you think, or perhaps Prince Philip Carkiet?
So is the Windsor family the loose skin?
Or is Prince Harry
was-
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
that's true. Yeah.
Just a thought experiment,
well,
dear listener.
It was worth exploring.
What?
Yeah, okay,
So what? Because the quote here from the Japanese newspaper was, "Doesn't matter what age you are, the word chimpo always raises a smile." Would that be Willie?
I would say so in the English. I mean, I don't know if that's an American
PP?
thing, but definitely PP.
PP
Yeah,
might make
that
me
kind
smile.
of level. The kind of things that, like, any kid under, single digit aged kids, most of them. There's always a couple that are way more advanced. But no, I'd say so. Willie, that was kind of Willie or PP. I'm gonna start. I wonder if I'm gonna use chimpo. I'm gonna start around my much younger girlfriend, referring to my what as a chimpo, and see how well that
Your
goes
coffee
down.
stirrer.
Oh, chimpo. Yeah. I love it. So, is there any more to that article? I mean, what's
there
what's
is,
the
but none
upshot
of it's
of?
very interesting. That's
Oh,
pretty
really?
much it. Just the
There's
fact
no-
that chimpo
there's-
me is a rude word in a slightly funny rude word in Japan.
So, Prince Harry
the rest
wasn't
of it
asked for
is
comment or
extremely-
to react to.
He probably. Yeah, I think Prince Harry put that request in the same basket that Celine Dion put the request about her name comment on some dude in Staffordshire changing his name after some beers.
So, his job was the chief impact officer of a mental health startup.
That's
Right.
Yeah. So
And, right, I can see why he didn't want to comment on chimpo.
He's
That
got
would
other
be-
things. Other things on his
That would
mind.
be
Now, we'll
far
say
too
they've
distracting.
they've got a little image here. They must have used the company, the charity or whatever it's called, used when they announced it. They've got a photograph of Prince Harry, and it's the best photograph I've ever seen of him. He looks really good looking, and you know why? It's in black and white. Smart move.
It's in black and white. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that
some of
really
my best
suits
photos
the-
in black and white.
Yeah,
Red-headed gentleman.
indeed.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Rodders. So obviously, Rodders is
Rodders.
found that particularly amusing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we've got our word of the week. Chimpo.
Well, thanks go out to you, Rodders, and your chimpo.
Once I had to intern for these two chimpos who had a lame podcast is a story I won't be telling my grandkids.
Kerwin, Roselle is sitting on the edge of my desk, and she insists that we run our eye over this article. Let's have a look here, shall we? Get off the desk, Roselle, please. It's not... Yes, I know you don't weigh very much.
If
It's
there's time to lean, there's time to clean. Am I right?
Exactly. Exactly what he said. A man was left red-faced after a neighbour put a note through his door requesting that he has sex quieter. Uh-oh. A man is left red-faced after a neighbour put a note through his door requesting that he has sex quieter.
Right.
Wow, he put that. It's actually phrased that quite strangely. Normally you would say have quieter sex, but he's actually requested, or the neighbours requested, has sex quieter.
Right.
Now, can you do you know anything about this topic? Actually, it reminds me that perhaps I think off mic you've told me once or twice. You might have had a few complaints lodged, or
Yeah.
put through you. Has it got to letterbox level?
It did get to letterbox level.
Wow.
Yeah, it did.
Wow. Okay, so this wasn't you then. Doesn't say where this person was.
Well-
no, he's in Glasgow. You're safe.
Okay, I was going to say I was a bit worried. I don't remember
Didn't agree to
reporting
this
it.
article.
I don't remember talking to the press, but
Being interviewed. Well, there's a photograph of you here, mate. You're holding up the letter with a cheesy
it wasn't
grin.
me. I swear. No, I mean, yeah, okay. I can sympathise. I can relate, I guess. So
Yeah. Well, this gentleman, Stephen, his name was reminded that sound travels by a polite and anonymous neighbour in his block of flats.
right. Okay.
I woke up yesterday morning and had been slipped under my door. The note, not my... the note that is not anything else.
And not the chimpo.
Not the chimpo. I woke up yesterday morning, been slipped under my door. Yep, so I woke up at 8:30, so they must have come early to make sure I was asleep.
Well, they knew he was asleep because he could. I'm assuming they could hear him snoring.
I was rolling on the floor laughing at whilst reading it. I was mortified. Well, it can't be both. Can you be mortified and rolling on the floor laughing at the same time?
Well, yeah, I guess there is a real
Well.
potpourri of emotions there.
I have been a couple of times listening back to our podcast. So, I guess that makes
That's
sense.
true. Yes. Okay. Well, then yes, you can be both. Yeah.
At first, I thought it was about something to do with the close. What?
The close, as in like that's like another name for an apartment block, isn't it?
I guess so.
That's worth a Google. This is one of those opportunities for me to be proven
close.
right about something.
Yeah, C-L-O-S-E. I thought a close was a, like a cul-de-sac, a dead-end road. At first, I thought it was
think
something
it
to do
might
with the close.
The
Let's
close.
Search for close.
I'm googling it too. Let's see what comes up.
Oh. It could mean a family member
Yeah, okay. Close.
very near to someone or something.
Or a residential
No,
street.
you're right. A
without
residential
through
street
access.
without through access. So you're right. So maybe that's maybe an English word for cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac is obviously a French.
Well, you were right. I
word.
actually.
Well done. You were right.
I know I said apartment block. I think you said a cul-de-sac. So I think on this occasion you get the chocolate Skelso.
My pals told me to buy my neighbours earplugs. Wow. Okay, that's one solution.
That's funny. I have actually done that.
Here we go. Here's the full text. Dear neighbour, just a friendly note from your neighbour to remind you the walls in these buildings are thin and sound controlled. While we appreciate that it's inevitable that we'll hear neighbours at times, we want to make you aware that we can hear more than we should. I'm sure you will agree that we all must be considerate and respectful of our neighbours, and we don't want to be sharing your intimate and private moments with you. Therefore, we politely ask if you could please keep the noise down at night.
What a delightful missive. That was really well. That wasn't a photo of the letter. It was just a quote from it.
Actually, it was both.
It was. Oh, well, describe the penmanship. Or was it? Or was it printed like a computer printout?
No, it's handwritten.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say it was not doesn't look like female script, but for I'd give it 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
7.5 out of 10. Yeah,
Okay.
quite good
Not too
penmanship.
Right. And can from the penmanship, look, we're getting it. I'm pretty sure that there's a whole thing of policing that's to do with handwriting, isn't there?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for
yes,
sure.
There is, yeah.
And you can tell a lot about someone by their handwriting. So I'm
Yes.
wondering, Kelso, if you could tell me from that handwriting the age of that person. Do you reckon the age of that person? You know, sometimes when you see an old person's writing, it looks like, whoa, that's really cool. People don't write like that
I would
anymore.
say. No, I would say 30s.
Right. So we know from
That would
that
be my
this.
guess.
This is well. I feel like we're like amateur sleuthing right now. I feel like
Yes.
we know from this handwritten note that they're in their 30s, had a sort of a fairly decent level of education to get penmanship like that, and
Impeccable manners.
impeccable manners. Yeah, well written. Yeah, was it paragraphed?
Yeah. Yeah, it's laid out neatly in paragraphs.
Paragraphs. Okay, this is great. I'm starting to warm to this guy.
Exactly. And, like I said, impeccable manners. Did I already say that?
You did, but it was worth saying again.
He's de-escalating the situation, yet still addressing the matter at hand.
And how did he sign off? Was there any kind of like your friendly neighbour, or there's no sign off?
No, it's signed off as thanks for understanding.
Well, that's not again. Like I think I don't know whose side to take on this one. He's a complex character. This guy, offended by the most natural thing two humans can do. But look, I've been on either side of this conundrum, where I have been bothered by the noises of, as Shakespeare says, the beast with two backs. But I've also been one of the backs of the beast, and my neighbours have been, the unfortunately sort of the victims of a loud ex-girlfriend and very thin walls.
That's right. That's ironic because I have a very thin girlfriend and loud walls. No, hang on. Didn't work that time.
Loud walls. Yeah.
Anyway, so the article signs off saying, I felt like it took them a while to word it properly, which is nice. So that is right. They did put a lot of thought into that. There's no hard feelings. Hooray! Got him.
You gotta finish with a joke.
Kerwin. I can tell by the rude looks Rosella's giving me that it's time to stop this show.
Is she tapping her watch?
She's tapping. There's definite tapping going on. I think she wants to lock the gates, wipe down the desks, and put the chairs on top of the tables. You know how you do that. Yes. So it's time to stop this show. The question is, tell me and the dear listener, how do we stop a show, and what on earth does that mean?
Well, we stop the show by singing a song at the end. I mean, that's how you finish every show. You should, as they say in Hollywood, always finish with a song. And that's what we're going to do. And you can suggest a song by emailing us at podcastkak@gmail.com or tweeting us on Twitter at podcastkak. But until then, we sometimes just like to sing a song that is sometimes related to something that we were talking about in the podcast. And look, I mean, we were talking about Celine Dion. It's very hard to go past.
Very hard.
Very hard to go past that. So, I'm going to perform this song, made famous in the movie Titanic. So here we go. Spaces between us, you have to show you go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more, touches one time and lasts for a lifetime, and never let go till we're gone. Love's when I loved you, one true time I hold to in my life will always go.
Very nice.
I have to say, I really enjoyed singing that. That's the first time I've ever sung that song, and
have you considered changing your name to Celine Dion?
I hadn't, but now I think I can see what he was thinking now. I think once you start channeling it, you know.
Yeah, get Roselle to fill out the paperwork. Yes, Roselle, just fill out the paperwork, then you can leave. Thank you.
Yeah, Deed Poll gets that letter. Oh no, here we go, not another one.
Another one. Now, what is that song about? What does my heart go on mean? She'll keep loving the person. Has she been spurned? Has spurning happened?
I'm not sure. And I just sang the song, and I'm still not quite sure what it means. I think I've got no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, because I know that the British Donor Association is definitely considering the song, going forward with that for organ donation.
Well, you want to hope that goes on, really. Both hold the yard.
Yeah.
Look, I just ran an eye over the lyrics, Kelso, and I guess what it means is it's just like I'm gonna keep loving you. That's what it means.
Right. No matter what.
No matter what. No matter if like the ship sinks and the person you love sinks to an icy grave.
Yeah. I don't care if you did stir my tea with your cock, whether you changed your name to Celine Dion or you go by the name of Chimpo. My heart will go on. And by the way, I can still hear your sex noise. That's very well, Kerwin. But that does leave our dear listener with one question.
Indeed it does, Kelso.
What's all that about?
I will chat to you on the next episode, and you can tweet us with any of your discussion or article ideas on Podcast KAK on Twitter, and also email us at podcastkak@gmail.com.
Thanks very much for listening to the show. It really does mean a lot to us. If you've got a friend, do let them know about our show, as that's how we hope to grow our listenership. And if you've got time and you're not busy working out how best to soundproof your room at a low cost so that your neighbours won't request you have sex quieter, then send us a sweet 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice.
It's egg cartons is how to soundproof your
It's egg cartons.
Until next time.
Hooroo!
See you later.